Hello and welcome to Attacking Third, a CBS Sports soccer podcast. I'm Sandra Herrera, lead NWSL writer for CBS Sports. Joined today, as always, by my colleague and co-host Lisa Carlin, analyst and broadcaster for CBS Sports. On today's show, we are chatting all things United States Women's National Team World Cup roster. So before we get into everything, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube so that you never miss out whenever we go live. We're also a podcast, so follow, like, and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review because that stuff helps us out so much. The World Cup is just a month away, so make sure you are tuned in to Attacking Third for all of your 2023 Women's World Cup content. Lisa, it's here. You're
Finally!
here. I'm here. Let's talk about it.
Woo! Let's go. 30 days until the U.S. plays their first opening group stage match in the World Cup. We get a roster from Black-Wananovsky. It is 23 players. Tied up nicely with a little bit of a ribbon. There are surprises in here. There are snubs. I want to get your thoughts because you and I, we try not to talk too much off mic, just a little bit. So that way everything is really authentic and natural here in our reactions. So our questions are real when I ask you what you think about things and vice versa. So I want to hear what you have to say about this because it's about time. We've gotten a lot of other nations rosters. Some of them have been 28 players, 30 players that they're going to narrow and whittle down. That's not the case for the U.S. That is not the case for Black-Wananovsky. He gave us 23 players. That's it. The only 23 packing their bags and going to the Southern Hemisphere in just a few days' time at this point.
I love it. I know we've done so much in the build up to this moment, Lisa. It's just like it just sort of feels like yesterday we were talking about the CONCACAF W Championship, and then the day before that we were just talking about this team at the Tokyo Olympics. I mean, we launched A3 in celebration of the Olympic Games, and we've been going full steam ahead ever since. And now we're talking about the 23 players who are going to represent the United States at this summer's World Cup. Let's just run it down in case you're joining us for your first reaction or your first introduction to the players who are going to go to the World Cup. Let's run it down by position and we will give you our reactions. We'll talk about some surprises, maybe some snubs as well. Let's start with the goalkeepers. There are 3 on this roster: Aubrey Kingsbury, Casey Murphy, and Alyssa Nair. For defenders, 7 total: Alana Cook, Crystal Dunn, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Sofia Huerta, Kelly O'Hara, and Emily Sonnet. Midfielders, 7 players as well in that category: Savannah DeMello, Julie Ertz, Lindsay Horan, Rose Lavelle, Christy Mewis, Ashley Sanchez, and Andy Sullivan. And rounding out the forwards is 6 players in Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, Alyssa Thompson, and Lynn Williams. Lisa, let's just start with first reactions. When you saw this drop, what did you feel? Were you having some emotions? Were you having some shock? Talk me
Sandra,
through it. Talk us all through it.
all of the emotions, any emotion that you can think of, I probably had it reading this roster. I think some of the very first things that jumped out to me is midfielder Savannah DeMello. This is a player that doesn't have a single cap. That hasn't been done where a player is named to a World Cup roster since 2003. I think it was Shannon Box. And now we get Savannah DeMello, who has proven herself week in and week out in the NWSL with Racing Louisville. She's got 5 goals on the year with them. She's already outscored herself from her rookie campaign last year where she was a finalist for Rookie of the Year. She's been on Black-Wananovsky's radar, and there is no wonder why. She makes this roster in the midfield. That's one of the biggest things that jumped out to me. And then the next thing is the fact that there's how many defenders there are, right? The fact that it's Alana Cook, Crystal Dunn, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Sofia Huerta, Kelly O'Hara, Emily Sonnet. There's only 7 of them as they head into this mix. What does that look like? We know, unfortunately, that Becky Sauerbrunn announced that she would not be available for selection and she would not be going to the World Cup. I thought that would open up different spots, especially in the defensive core, because right now there's only 2 out-and-out center backs in that defender group. We're going to talk about it, but those are the top things I'm going to say that stuck out to me. And then one more, Alyssa Thompson. We got a teenager going down under 18 years old. She just graduated high school. It's no wonder she's on this roster. Number one draft pick. She's been cruising with Angel City in the NWSL. She's gotten call up after call up with Vlatko Andonovski. After Mallory Swanson went down a few months ago with her patellar tendon injury, Alyssa Thompson got called in and she stepped in seamlessly. She's an out and out professional. She's making her way onto this roster, and I'm really excited to see it. But those are my top three things that jumped out to me.
Look, I'm in 100% agreement with you. Shocker there, right? We're have the mind meld going here. It's like, of course, we have like similar reactions to this. I'm thrilled for the young talent and Alyssa Thompson for being named to this roster. I'm incredibly excited for players like Aubrey Kingsbury, Savannah DeMello. You know, these are all players, 3 of 14 who will make their first ever World Cup tournament appearance. And you know, I just I think when you take a moment to kind of settle in to those things and kind of let those numbers hit you,
Yeah,
it makes you, it touches you a little bit, gets you a little bit in the throat, right in the heart, and you're just kind of like, wow, like this is massive for players. I know, you know, you and I were in on that media availability with Andonovski, and got asked about that. I mean, he said that one of the hardest phone calls you can make and hardest conversations that you can have is to talk to a player about not making the roster. And you know, it's like you're going through in this big wave of emotions where you are talking to players and essentially they're witnessing their dreams coming true. And even for veteran players who are on this roster, whether it's from, you know, Herrera or Morgan, and having the reaction where you don't get tired of hearing that call or getting that phone call, or how it feels like the first time every single time. It's a wide range of varying emotions, and I think that also includes those unfortunate and difficult phone calls that you have to make to players who don't make this roster.
it's tough.
So while you and I, of course, are like, we react to something like this that drops, and there's that level of excitement and good energy that comes with it, there's also that other side of it where you take a look at those names, those 23 names on the rosters, and you say, oh, there's someone missing here, or some, or two someones, or three someones who are missing on this roster that maybe we thought would have been locks to go to the World Cup. And in all of our content and building up to this World Cup, and that kicks off in July, that includes everything that we're doing on Attacking Third, everything that we're starting to see with Golasso Network, everything on .com. There's opportunities for us to have fun with it. We were like, oh, let's do some predictions. You know, let's do players who are trending up and down right now based on their club play, or who are our locks to go, and to have a different feeling, like almost week to week. I don't think there was ever a moment where it's like, okay, well, now I think this player's going and this player's not.